Alright there mate, how you doing? It's Speed here. Now at the time this video will premiere, it'll be midnight in the UK and my birthday. So I had the completely original idea to count down my favourite minigames in the Mario Party series, as they can be a fun break from the main game and can even net you some handy coins. I'll only be counting minigames from the Mario Parties I currently own, which is 4, 6 to 10, Super, DS and Island Tour. Also, I won't be placing any boss minigames on here, because I might do that another time. Keyword might. Anyway, let's go. One thing I loved about Mario Party 4 is that you had the custom minigames option, so only the minigames you liked came up in parties, which meant games like Toad's Quick Draw came up much more often. Several coloured balloons come out of the train, and after a while, Toad will reveal the coloured balloon you need to shoot. Once the Toad reveals said colour, it's a rush to find the balloon and burst it before the computers can. Unfortunately, this and another minigame later on couldn't save how boring the boards are in this game. Mario Party 6 is one of my favourite gimmicks in the series with its day and night cycle, and this even affected some of the minigames. Case in point, in the daytime version, you gotta climb up on top of these Koopas, thank god these guys have sturdy shells, and get as high as you can. But if you mess up a jump, you could fall down and potentially cost yourself the game. I mean, the Mario characters always enjoy getting high in some respects anyway. However, I prefer the nighttime version of this game, where you gotta get down to the bottom as fast as you can, so basically the minigame becomes what goes down, as you always have to maneuver through the Koopas instead of having to wait to jump on them, which I do enjoy more because of its better pace. Ever since I first played this minigame, I've loved it. Mario Party 7 had some of my favourite 2v2 minigames, and this is definitely my favourite. You have to get past 4 webs defeating all of the Scuttlebug by shooting them in the face, whilst avoiding their webs that if they hit you, you'll get stuck for a while to reach Fludder at the end. The first part has 3 small ones that are piss easy to deal with. The second and third sections introduce big ones that take multiple hits, as well as increasing the number of them, before the last part has you taking on what's essentially a mini-boss, who can also charge at you. It's a lot of fun dodging their attacks while shooting them. I love how the difficulty in this minigame progresses, and it's my favourite 2v2 minigame in the series. Say what you want about Mario Party Island Tour, but it had a pretty strong lineup of minigames. I mean, Toxbox Shocks wasn't that far off from making the list, but my favourite is Mind Over Mattermouth. You remember Haunty Hall's Galaxy in Super Mario Galaxy 2, where the Mattermouths ate through the floor? Well, these Mattermouths are them on steroids. In the beginning, it's not too hard, but every 10 seconds until there's 3 of them, a new one spawns in. And it gets ridiculously hard when they're all over the damn place. I've seen master CPUs get knocked out very quickly when there's 3 of them, but I absolutely love the challenge this minigame has, as well as my favourite part of this minigame, the music. It perfectly fits with what's going on, and I found myself listening to it on YouTube quite a bit. When it comes to battle minigames, I prefer skill-based ones, as there's often a lot of coins on the line. Mario Party 6 had a pretty strong lineup of battle minigames, well, except for Strawberry Short Fuse, so you gotta remember where the shortcuts are. Okay, how the fuck do I do that when they're literally all over the damn place? With my favourite being Control Stick. It's a pretty simple minigame, just match your inputs with the arrows on screen, but it's only simple at first because it gets faster each time, all the way up to sweet Jesus. At those speeds it's very easy to slide the control stick the wrong way, and you only have to mess up once to get dropped. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of coins on the line, so it can get pretty intense, but it's a lot of fun reacting to it in time. This is definitely the minigame I try and get when the battle minigames show up. I never really got into books, they're so boring! Avoiding being crushed by one in the game has done me way more good than reading ever has. Like I just said, you gotta avoid being crushed by the book by working out where the holes are. Sometimes the writing on the next page gives it away, other times not so much, so you always have to stay alert. The circles are no bother, but the crescent moons and the stars inside bits can easily catch you out, especially if there's several of you trying to fit into one hole, and even more especially when the book starts falling down faster and there's only one hole to fit through. Book Squirm is easily one of the fan favourites from Mario Party 4, and it's not hard to see why. Platformers are my favourite genre of gameplay. Some of my favourite minigames in the series are platforming ones, and Lift Leapers is hands down my favourite. plays out like the 2D platformers, and even has more interesting level design than them. You have the rising platforms in the first section, platforms moving in a circular pattern in the second section. This section reminds me a lot of the arcade Mario Bros, and the final section's more or less a mix of the first two sections. It's actually a lot of fun to speedrun this minigame. The only downside is that if you fall, the cue takes for freaking ever to get you back up. Aside from that though, it's really satisfying to reach the end. Out of all the Mario Party 6 free-for-alls, this is the one I seem to come back to the most. The single-player Bowser minigames in 7 are annoying to get because they are all up-based, well except for Tunnel of Lava, and even then that's only because you can destroy all of the Mecha Koopas within the time limit. But the multiplayer ones were an absolute blast, with Magmagical Journey being one of my favourites. It's actually a pretty challenging minigame, this one, because you only have to mess up just one jump and your bum's getting burnt in the lava. Say goodbye to half of your coins, mate. You also have the Koopa Kids firing at you, but they're easy as hell to dodge. With everything going on, combined with that amazing music and what's at stake, it's intense to say the least. But that just makes it all the more satisfying to reach the end unharmed, whilst you laugh at the computers who are about to lose a load of coins. Mario Party 9 didn't necessarily have the best selection of minigames in the series, but Chain of Eight is the clear standout here. You have to race down to the bottom avoiding the spike balls in the way by using the Wii remote to switch sides, and the longer you avoid those spike balls, the faster you go down. Normally they alternate which sides they're going to appear on. It's the ones that appear on the same side as the last one you need to keep an eye on, as they can easily catch you out because you don't get much reaction time. But it's thrilling as heck to keep the speed going and get through it all the way down to the bottom without taking a scratch, because fucking hell that's gotta hurt hitting one of those spike balls at those speeds. Alrighty then, here's the honorable mentions. It's just fun to beat up the pokies and karate kick them in the head. That's starting to fit through the gaps, and since I have full control, I don't have to worry about the computer screwing me over. Fun to dodge everything on the rivals, and even more fun to fire everything on the one. Loved this minigame when I was younger, but it's very unbalanced. And finally, basically everything I liked about Mind Over Mattermouth, it's just not as much. This was easy. Remember everything I said about Magmagical Journey? Well, that's this minigame on crack. Funstacle Course, well, it's fun for Bowser, and it's fun for me. What you gotta dodge? Flamethrowers that are easy to outrun, flops that come down in a predictable pattern, these platforms where if you don't get your first jump correct, you're fucked, these narrow platforms, spiked bars that can easily catch you out if you're at the far right, and meteors you gotta jump over, all the way up to the finish line. Jesus Christ, that's a lot, but that just makes it all the more satisfying to win. The whole minigame is a thriller, and like Magmagical Journey, the music fits perfectly. There was really no other minigame that could top this.